Praise the Lord.
Okay, this is called I'm a Christian. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not shouting I'm saved, I'm whispering I get lost. That is why I chose the way. When I say I'm a Christian, I don't speak of this with pride. I'm confessing I stumble and need someone to be my guide. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not trying to be strong. I'm professing that I'm weak and pray for strength to carry on. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not bragging of success. I'm admitting that I've failed and cannot ever pay the debt. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not claiming to be perfect. My flaws are way too visible, but God believes I'm worth it. When I say I'm a Christian, I still feel the sting of pain. I have my share of heartaches, which is why I seek His name. When I say I'm a Christian, I do not wish to judge. I have no authority, I only know I'm loved.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a smile here for y'all. This one is called The Smartest People in the World. A doctor, a lawyer, a little boy, and a priest were out for a Sunday afternoon flight on a small private plane. Suddenly the plane developed engine trouble. In spite of the best efforts of the pilot, the plane started to go down. Finally, the pilot grabbed the parachute and yelled to the passengers they had better jump, and then he bailed out. Unfortunately, there were only 3 remaining parachutes. The doctor grabbed one and said, I'm a doctor, I save lives, so I must live, and jumped out. The lawyer then said, I'm a lawyer, and lawyers are the smartest people in the world. I deserve to live. He also grabbed a parachute and jumped. The priest looked at the little boy and said, My son, I've lived a long and full life. You are young and have your whole life ahead of you. Take the last parachute and live in peace. The little boy handed the parachute back to the priest and said, Not to worry, Father. The smartest man in the world just took off with my backpack.
So far, so good.
This is, I was at Walmart earlier. A lady was looking at frozen turkey, but she couldn't find one big enough. So she asked the stock boy, Do these turkeys get any bigger? He replied with a straight face, No, ma'am, they're dead.
Oh. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart lawyer. Good. I think Earl comes up with some of them. Okay, praise the Lord. Brother Deon. Brother Deon said, I think, remember he said he had about 3 different things, and he's done 2 of them. He's going to do something else today. So we'll give him time to do that.
Thank y'all. I appreciate your time. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today is time. First of all, I just want to recap. I know I'm an old coot, a relic, curmudgeon, old school, whatever you want to call me, that's fine. We're talking about the time we spend here. The first week I talked about the sanctuary, how important it is, what it's dedicated to. Second time I talked about prayer, how important it is for us as Christians, and what the altar's for, and what the altar card is for. I want y'all to understand, what I'm talking about today is time. It's the actual time we spend in the sanctuary or at church. Now, if this, I may step on your toes, and if I do, I can't apologize, because I'll be honest with you, the Lord laid this on my heart. But secondly, if it doesn't apply to you, once again, don't get hurt. If it does, talk to me outside, or talk to me later, or talk to the Lord, whatever you feel led to do. But there's 168 hours in an average week. Oh yeah, week, 168 hours. Do the math. If you take off everything that we have to do, which is work, I gave everybody 60 hours because you got to drive back and forth. Gave you time to eat. Gave you time to whatever you got to do. It leaves us with about 45 hours of free time. And first of all, everybody knows free isn't free. There's no such thing. But like I said, I'm old school. I remember back when we used to start the church at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the morning service sometimes wasn't open till 1, 2 o'clock. And the preacher preached the whole time. I want Brother Carl to stand up for a second, but I want to tell him something in front of y'all. I appreciate him being a mentor. I appreciate him being a pastor. I appreciate him being a preacher. I appreciate that he stays in the Word. He talks about freedom, coming to church and having freedom. Where the Spirit is, there's liberty. And if the Spirit sets you free, you're free indeed. But I want y'all to understand too, that freedom doesn't come for free. When he asks somebody to come up here, and he turns his pulpit over to people all the time. I'm so thankful for that time he gives me, allows me in his pulpit. I know Patrick is too. Anybody wants to come up and share a testimony, sing a song, he never says no. I want y'all to try that at a big church. You go over to the First Baptist of Dallas and try to get up there and give a testimony or sing a song that's not scheduled, they're going to shut you down. But this man has allowed us to have the freedom to serve the Lord in the way that we feel led. He lets the Holy Spirit run the church. And I'm so thankful for it. I want to thank this hand. And we are blessed to have it myself. But I've been to churches too that were the same way. You didn't just come up with a special. You just didn't come up and share something. You didn't get to walk up front and say what you felt. But we have that freedom. But now when we start taking away that, we start using that freedom, just like I'm taking time now, we shouldn't let it cause it to take away from what the Holy Spirit's going to do through Brother Carl. I mean, if we're 10 minutes over, 15 minutes over, whatever, that's the way it is. I would hate to think that because of our clock watching, that there was somebody at the back of the church that really needed prayer, or really needed to come up, or really needed to dedicate their life, or give their life to the Lord, that because they were indecisive, and we cut the time off, that they didn't get that opportunity. I'm not asking y'all, we're not going to keep you here till 1 or 2 o'clock, but if it's a little over, it's a little over. You know, set your beans different. Allow this time. Like I said, if you come here every service, the week we don't have a Wednesday service, you're only here 4.5 hours. If you come on Wednesday night, it's 5.5. And that's if you come to Sunday school and Bible study. So time is a very relative thing. I have never in my life, and I've been to some people on their deathbeds, I've never ever heard of everybody say, I wish I had more time at work. Or I wish I'd had more time to sleep. It's always what they didn't do. The time they didn't spend. So take this time that we have, that was such a gift from God, because of our country and because of who we are. Be thankful for it and take that time.
Hallelujah.
I want to remind you, I'm going to leave you with one thing. This is from Acts, the 20th chapter, and this is Paul's preaching, and they're telling the story in the 20th chapter, in verse 7, and upon the first day of the week. Now, the first day of the week, it didn't say the Sabbath day. That's why we worship God on Sunday. The first day of the week.
Amen.
When the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow. He had somewhere to go. He needed to be somewhere. He needed to rest. He didn't get to always get in the ship and go. He did a lot of walking, Paul did. But anyway, he had a place to go. And continued his speech until midnight. Now you got to understand, this started at dinner. And he's still preaching at midnight. And they're sitting in, they went to a certain young man named Epictetus, being fallen into a deep sleep. I think I've been there. And as Paul was long preaching, he sank down with sleep and fell down from the third loft and was taken up dead. I want you to understand, I'm not talking about the part where he died. I'm talking about how long Paul preached. People, we cannot quench the Spirit. That's part of our responsibility, is to get the word out and then let the Spirit have the freedom to move in the people that he needs to move in.
Amen.
So, I appreciate your time this morning. And I'll tell you right now, if you ever have to leave and I'm preaching, I don't know how Brother Carl feels about it, but if it's important, it's not going to interrupt me. You just go if you need to go. I won't think nothing of it. But please, let's not quench the Spirit. Brother Carl.